Hi, I think I'm live. Oh, this is exciting. I haven't done a live before on YouTube. So I'm Kate. It means I put up videos, but I haven't just thrown myself in YouTube. So I'm Kate. I'm a yoga teacher and I've just finished yoga and I'm starting to look at my yoga art process. So I've just been working on this piece yesterday. And it's the concept of this is often when I finish a yoga class, especially with somebody, I'll get them to draw or paint what they're feeling. And the reason for doing that is that yoga works on this is just asanas. So um, yoga postures work on many different levels, and they work not only the immediate thing is that you've got your breathing, which means your emotions, you're getting in touch with your emotions, able to feel what the inner feeling inside your body is, plus stretching and strengthening the body. So of course you get an overall sense. We get an overall sense of wellness. But having finished that, what happens is we're stirring up different emotions inside ourselves. And often, especially if it's a regular practice, we're starting to go deeper inside ourselves and start to find that different emotions come up. So, one way then, as we go deep, sometimes these are things to do with old patterns. And I'm finding old patterns coming up for myself. And today, what I'm exploring is I'm breaking out of inside myself at the moment. I'm breaking out of being, which this is a grevillea flower, which is really, really tiny. And what I'm doing is I'm looking in nature, which is what happens with yoga, which is anyway, most of them come out of natural experiences. So I'm looking back again towards nature to find guidance, if you like, or examples of shapes or forms that hold shape in nature, which at the moment I'm using a grevillea flower. So from this part of the flower, this amazing stamen pops out. And as I said, it's microscopic actually. To draw this, the flower is probably about this big. I'm like Georgia O'Keeffe, I'm blowing it up to see, well, what's the essence, the mind inside this? And very similar to yoga postures, which use animals or forms to see what's the essential kind of driving force behind that particular creature. So a snake or a locust or oh, a fish, and so on and so on. When we start to see what's the nature of that animal, then I'm just going to close the door. My mum's chatting. When we look at what is the nature of that particular animal, then we find that um, the qualities of that we take the same position. So I'm looking at the nature of this form of flower. So this is a grevillea flower, and I'm checking out, well, what's happening here, and what the energy that's occurred is that this part was wound up down in here, and it's unfolding, and as it unfolds, this takes precedence, and I'm in a space inside myself where I'm feeling that I've been holding a lot of energy. This used to be down here. I've been also holding a lot of energy inside a thought or a dogma or a sense of this is right. And what I want to do at the moment is allow a whole new experience. It's got to do with my earning and with how I am with my own business, actually, and how I feel comfortable with finances, which is another whole story. And it's unfolding as an emotional experience inside myself. I want to break away from an old dogma, which is to do with feeling that earning is somehow not it's either privileged as a privileged thing, or it's something that's not very spiritual. So I'm extending a new thought or idea inside myself to do with values that need to change, and I'm finding it an emotional experience. So I'm now working on getting this yoga art to get this experience out in front of me so that I can feel the change that I'm experiencing at the moment, that sort of, yeah, that difference. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now. That's enough talking. This is something that I do also with clients. So when we're working together, we do yoga art together, and it's an amazing adventure, very interesting adventure, and I certainly invite you to have a go at it. Have a go at it yourself. So ultimately what's happened here is this, what came from this space, and I want to indicate that. So I'm going to, just as I've done those dots there, I'm going to try and get that sense of what that unfolding might have felt like. And the way that I feel it in here is that I think it would have been like this. And I want to just draw that at the moment, because I feel that that would have been quite a profound and extraordinary experience to sort of feel that boing. And I don't know if that happened all at once, but essentially that's the feeling that I think might have come around as this part of the flower burst out. And I also have this sense of this energy, the shivering of what that would have been like. And so that gives me now, from doing that, I've got more of a sense of how the feeling of that would have flowed. And then I want to work into that, probably with some crayons, because what I'm going to be doing is, and I have this sense of that holding a lot of like warmth. So I'm going to put some yellow through into here. And as I said, I think that's because in my mind, this unfolding would have been a really kind of, there would have been a sense of tremendous hope as that opened up. And for me, hope is often, the feeling of dawn. When a new experience is opening, it feels very much like a dawn kind of, I want to get this to feel like a light almost. It's emanating from that energy. And the reason why I'm doing these with crayon is that I like to also do a wash after I've completed this, so that the crayon holds inside a washed kind of space. I'll show you that as I go. So, yeah, that feels nice. All right. And now this area, I want that to be quite dark and somber, but inside of that, particularly this, it feels like there's a sort of shimmeringness off the flower that I noticed when I picked it. And I started to show that with these circles. I'm going to go back into those with a bit of crayon so that it holds against the paint. Originally I was drawing with a felt tip. And I think I want to expand this concept, this sense of movement. I started doing it there, and I've started doing it here. There's something about, I wonder how, maybe I can just do it with a soft kind of, like a shimmer through here. Let's just see what that's like. And I'll double that up, I think. And maybe I'll do it one more time and just accentuate that. And it's almost, for me, like it's almost like the kind of aura that's still reflecting off this. And the same with the front here, just that tremendous stretch that's coming through here. Let's see if I've over-exaggerated that. Maybe that area I could keep that more still. And then through here, this is not only, there's a lot of tension for this to have broken out of here. And it feels like that's what's going on inside myself. There's a lot of tension coming out of my body as I start to explore this idea of changing my identity. Identity change is a funny idea, but anyway. It's almost like a kind of language. To not remain as you think that you are. And that, I think, needs more definition. So I'm going to make that into a language. I'm using pink here. I do feel like that's like language. Too busy. Maybe I got that too busy. Let's see, I'll do the same around here. And then really what I want to do is complete all of this now with the blue. Maybe too much noise there now. Let's see. So I was planning to set this in quite a dark kind of background. That one might be too pale a colour. And I want to try it with that'd be nice around there. I want to try it with a water-based paint. See how that plays. Let's try that around the green, the yellow. This one and another. So I've got some quite dark blues, but these paints are not very powerful paints. I just got something from them. I'll see though. By power, I mean they don't have a full quota of pigment in them. They've been set in with a bit of a fair amount of white inside the colour. Have a look. So I'm looking for, and I don't think I bought a black, but I have got a nice deep ultramarine. I'll see if that helps. Oh yeah, there's a good colour. Right, let's see. Oh my goodness, I haven't used colours this bright for ages. So when you are working with colour, and it's also fun just to see how, what emotions come up for yourself during these processes. So to do art after yoga, notice how you relate to the colours, and notice what emotions the colours bring up as you're working with them. So I'm going to have to go in around that, but not with the green. But I do want to start this green experience. Let's see how it sits. Is it going to work with that? Some water, I think. The idea is that I want it to, I'm going to have to white back. Yeah, it's not going to work like a watercolor. Oh yeah. Yes, it's starting to allow, if I go really watery, it allows the yellow to still show through, which is actually what I wanted. Oh, nice. So let me see if I can get that working through here. Yeah, there it is. Ah, great. And these particular pens that I'm using, so I'm having to water this right back. Let's get it down the back side here as well. I'll come round to that. I'm watering it right back so that the paint underneath still shows through. And I have a feeling what I'll have to do is go back in there with water over that to get the colour out. Yeah, there it is. And this is, again, it's a medium I haven't played with before. It's something that I imagined would work. I love that. I love when a colour breaks through another colour. And it happens when you put oils and waters together. So I've got acrylic paint sitting on top of an oil-based crayon right now. And underneath is, so you can see here I do it really lightly. Actually, if I get food colour, or pure watercolor paints, I'll get a different expression of this again. But I don't have any with me at the moment, so I might buy some today for the next piece. And also, I bought, I'll come to that in a minute, I bought some gold leaf. So yes, I can see that through there. That's nice. I want to come here into a really darker expression of the same thing. And again, I want to have that light pink coming through. So let's see if I can get that happening. The thing is that there's a certain kind of compromise on pigment when I'm doing this. Maybe the best way to do it is to do it with the watercolor first and then push that back with water afterwards. And these, I want to keep that quite well defined. I'll let it fade out. Sometimes when I'm using a new medium, because I used to paint in oils, it takes a while to get used to what the actual paint can do. As I said, these are not like very super high quality paints. So they might not mix the way that I'm used to. There we go. I'm going to get that deep kind of, almost looks like it needs some of this in there. Let's see. Well, it seems like these kind of colors do well with a lot of water already on the board. I'll just prime it with a bit more water. And I probably could have used a bigger brush as well. And the canvas itself doesn't have a very kind of slippery primer on it. Let's see if I can get any more of that yellow out. Surely to get that to work, I'm going to need some tissue paper. Oh yeah, it's good. I can work that with a dry brush. So what I'm seeing with this medium is I'm going to have to go back in to pull out the colors that I originally put on. And sort of, it looks like I'm going to have to be, using some kind of to get hold of a tissue or something. I have to go on a hunt. It's an unexpected thing. Anyway, what I might do is shut down for a bit. Oh, look at all that colour appearing. Nice. So what I'm going to do is shut it down for a bit, go on to the work and come back to you. I can already see from your perspective, this like kind of sense of movement that's coming up around here. I'm getting what I wanted, which is a feeling of something has evolved. It's kind of evolved out of this area with a fair amount of energy. So, that's really interesting. Okay, I'll come back and complete it in a little while. Thank you. I'll do a bit more work. And if you're working, you can start with your own if you like. Or actually, I can just leave it. Well, I don't know how YouTube works, but I can leave it running. I'll come back in a second. I just want to get something so that I can start to pull that yellow out a bit more. So, the other thing is I can leave it to dry and go back over the top. No, I want to pull it out. Give me a few minutes. And if you are at home and you want to do this, grab a piece of paper, anything that you've got, and some colors. Even these kind of pens. I'm working with a mixture of these plus paint, plus crayons. So if you've got anything at home that you can use and any kind of size of paper, just get started. And as I said, after doing yoga, usually there's different emotions arise, and because we're breathing deeply and holding and sustaining postures, it means that the deeper layers of thought also start to come out to the surface. So then it becomes easier to start to process, well, what's really going on? What's percolating under the layers of my mind? And with art or with writing, but I'm using art at the moment, we can start to bring that out and help to even release what's going on and help to get clarity about, well, then how can I go forward from here? I'm going to leave you here with this bit of art while I go and get some tissue paper. Okay, back to work. Let's just see if I wipe this off. Oh yeah, look, that's fantastic. Now this yellow, which is what I wanted, it starts to come through quite strongly. Yeah, I can really bring that out. So I've got to find a balance between the amount that I'm wiping off and that sort of background look. If I bring it right back like that, it might be too strong. So I'm going to have to go back in and out of this area a few times. I kind of like it there where it's quite strong, and then I pull it back. So I'm going to try that again. Going in with this green. I'll go in deeply. Give it a bit more time to dry, I think. I was afraid to do this before because I didn't know if I could pull it back off again, but I see that I can. go in quite strongly with that green into the art, into the crayon itself. And then pull that back after. It's a bit like what I was talking about, these hidden emotions. And often what happens to me is I get this hidden sense of hope. I feel shy to express it because I'm afraid if I express my hope, somebody will come and destroy it. And that has a bit to do with childhood stuff. And as a kid, if we were hopeful, we'd all I don't know, for whatever reason, we'd all bash each other up about it emotionally. And don't be so stupid, And the feeling of living in hope was not a very strong emotion in my family. We sort of there was a bit more of a cynicism in my family. Irish Catholics can be cynical. So I've often got a hidden kind of sense of hope that's under the covers, so to speak. And this area expresses that for me nicely. And it's good that I see I can pull back the covers by wiping that paint off. I'll give it a bit and then pull it back with that cloth. And then coming down here, I want this to be quite dark. So I'll go into that with the blue. As I said, I don't have any black. If I wanted to really, and I can work with a bit of red in there. And that'll blacken it all up a bit. Because my feeling is this holds very still. And it feels like something to do with the very fundamentals of my own mind. How there's this kind of stillness, and it can become quite static. But from a very still place, everything else explodes or emerges. Let's have a look. I'll get a smaller brush for this. Even you. Yeah, so that's what I want to work on in this area here. Is really a sense of potential, strong potential that's not expressed. And so I'll get this to be quite dark and still. And I love black for this reason, because it holds so much color. When we make black with paints, with pigments, then we mix all the colors together. So yellow, blue, and red, which means actually all the three primary colors, so all color is held inside black. And you can get kind of purple colored blacks, blue colored blacks. And this one, I want that sense of warmth that I'm just putting around here, and also this dark blue distant black that's coming up on this top side here. That purpley blue black. And I might just push that through with water into there so that it stays a bit translucent into the edges. And let's see, I'll bring that round to the blue, I think. I love how these colours are coming together. The part of the world that best expresses colours for me is Mexico and Perugia. Goodness, I love the colours in that part of the world. Aztec art with the turquoises and deep blues. It's so rich, and gold. I bought some. I have some gold leaf that I want to put on afterwards. I do. I love those rich, rich colours. When I was a child, I used to wonder if maybe in a past life or something I'd been part of the Aztecs, Inca kind of group. All through. Also, I was looking recently at something from what part of the world was it? Persia. Asian Persia. Gee, that area, the colours are also incredible. They use a lot of that really deep, again, emerald, turquoise, green, blues. Those colours. Egypt also. That amazing. Desert reds with turquoise blues. It's so exotic. And I find when I'm in the garden, I feel like I'm often sitting in amongst those deep greens with tremendous colour of the flowers. My mum's got a beautiful garden. Okay, that's starting to get the kind of look that I want, and I want that deeper black around the actual flower face itself. A bit more water in this. Almost like the paint doesn't want to stick. I hope that you're using this time to paint. I think what I'll do is at least once a week I'll come back on and do it piece by piece. So it seems like Sunday's a good day to do it. So if you do want to try, if you want to try some painting, I'll do it each Sunday. I'll start advertising and see what happens. The other way I can do it is to fast track it. But I've got a feeling just taking time to do it slowly might be even better. That's what I want. I'm not sure you can see. I'll show you. So just coming in. Oh, are you sure you want to end your stream? No, not yet. See that how I'm just starting to put the detail down in around there. So this part here, just in here, is starting to get the look that I want. I want to hold that pink and get the darkness to start to wrap it. Again, it's going to take a time. This is now I'm getting into detailed work. Once it gets into detail, it all slows down. But that's also really good for the mind because it means that, that deeper thinking starts to set in at this stage. I know a woman who's a potter, and she goes through so much process with her art, and I wonder, for her to be sitting inside that studio every day. And she does. She works diligently, 8 hours a day on her artwork. And I wonder how her mind processes all that she's going through as she makes each piece. Very dedicated potter. Even as I'm painting, I find I'm holding my breath at times just to get that color to do what I want. There's this moment. Yeah, not even breathing to get that detail to work the way that I'm hoping that it will. Goodness, and these paints are not quite responding as I'd like them to. Anyway, I'll just learn to manipulate them. Yeah, it's coming. And again, I need water in there. Wow. Okay, let's see if I can get some of that back up off there. Oh, I might have left it too long. Here it comes. Well, psychologically, this is quite interesting. Because I have to work quite hard to uncover what I've covered. Maybe the metaphor of that. Especially it's all my hope. Interesting. And actually, as I uncover it also, it kind of merges itself into that other paint that's there already. Kind of sends this extra colour through. Okay, well that's getting there. Grab another place and see if I can work with that. Well, I'm not sure if anybody's actually here with me. Let's see though. So as I said before, I finished my yoga today, and now I'm painting out the emotions that have come up. And at the moment in my life, I'm trying to make a breakthrough in a certain area with work, with my business. I'm feeling kind of not able to. Well, it's kind of this stuff to do with trust as well as some old dogmas around earning that I'm hanging on to. And so this painting, which is a grevillea, it's got the feeling of the movement of a yoga posture inside it, which is to start from yoga mudra or any of the ones where we're really like shashangas and rabbit posture and so on, and then opening up into almost Garuda, which is the bird posture, or any of the fully open, balanced postures. So as my body goes through that process, also my mind is going through that process. And a good way to see what's going on in the mind is to paint it out. So that's what I'm doing here. And I think I'll do this as a Sunday activity. And if anybody else wants to do it with me, please feel free. This is an area of yoga therapy that I teach in and take clients through looking at what's held inside and then finding ways to be able to express that and let that go, so to speak. So I'm going to finish this area here with this kind of dark black and work into the red over here, and then I'll come up around the top up there. So I need a bit more of that blue. I'm mixing my black at the moment, so I don't get just one fixed black. I'm working with ultramarine and a bright red, and putting those two together. Yeah, I don't know where that bright red's gone. Here it is. I'll finish with what I've got. Yeah, so mixing up my own blacks. Often it's nice to make your own black because then there's a lot of color hidden inside it. And this area, particularly, I noticed it in the flower. It has some black in it, the flower, and that black feels like a deep, deep, deep maroon color, very warm black. So that's what I'm doing here now, getting that warm. Put a bit more blue in there, otherwise it's a bit too red. Yeah, getting that really warm, deep color. And this area, particularly on the flower too, it's where all of its strength comes from. So around is quite still. There's hardly any sense of movement down around here. But here at the base of where this one came out, it starts to feel like there's strong directional lines, I guess is the best way for me to describe it. And this comes from the concept that everything has a mind. Like, I've been talking to Dad, who's a physicist, about all of this. If thought is just also energy, and it has a certain movement, stuck thought. If this area of the flower is its potential to grow this, and this area stays held or stuck, what's the energy of that staticness. It's an interesting concept. And the same with inside our body. If our body's held, or it's energy that's being held, what happens when we move it, which is what we do when we're doing yoga? Are we releasing? And it feels like it. It's like releasing energy in a directed way, which then creates a certain level of emotion. Mm-hmm. So back to this therapy. As a therapy, when we do art, that's from an inner gazing, rather than just, okay, I'm going to paint a beautiful picture. That's not really true. Most art has an element of inner and external. So we might see something like a beautiful piece of scenery, and then wonder, can I replicate, can I create what's already created? Can I replicate that onto a two-dimensional and carry the essence of that amazing landscape, which is often, or that thought that I feel is emanating from that particular image outside myself, like cityscapes or landscapes or portraits and so on. Can I capture the essence of that in my paint and transmit that for others to see? So that's the first question. As an artist, am I able to grab that external energy and internalize it, and then express that in a way that's held or caught? Because a painting captures something, like a photo does, captures the essence. Then the next question is, when I'm doing that with my own inner mind, what is it that I'm capturing? What is it that I'm capturing and holding? And externalizing it means that others can also see what my inner mind is grappling with, what my ideas are at the moment, what it feels like to grapple with these particular thoughts or emotions. And then that becomes something that can be like shared or commented upon or observed by others. So there's a lot of vulnerability in painting after doing yoga. Yoga is so deeply internal, and it's quite uniformed. If you're in a class, you will do the same postures at the same time and so on. And there's a certain sort of look to it of a kind of uniformity I notice inside yoga classes. That's it. For me, it's a bit dogmatic. It's a sort of a concept that spiritual exercises look like this. Kind of formal and a bit serious. But internally, there's this whole other world going on inside each of the practitioners. So everyone who's in a yoga class together might look externally like they're doing the same kind of thing. And we can judge, oh, this person's really good at yoga because of how they can twist their body around. It's not really the purpose of yoga, actually. Yoga is to massage and regulate the glands in the body. So it doesn't matter if you're fat or thin or flexible or tall or whatever, it still has the same impact on everybody, because we're all holding postures that are putting just the right amount of pressure for our own bodies. Anyway, the thing is that what goes on inside each person, that's what we don't get to see. And that's why I do yoga art. So that you can get to see, well, what's going on inside that mind while going through that process of cleansing, regulating the hormonal system, which impacts the chakra system, then affects our sensation. And that's what's happening during the yoga. So painting it out afterwards, it gives a chance, well, for other people to also see what it is, what's going on. Now here, I don't know if I can do it. I've never used this stuff before, but I want to take pieces of this. Wow, it's going to be tricky. Oh my goodness, it just breaks. Put it into the paint and with a clean brush, soft brush, I'm told. Wow. To make that part of the picture. This is fun. So how can I do that? I'm just going to try like capture little parts of it and let it tear. Goodness. And if I can keep my brush clean enough. Oh, that's quite a big bit. Anyway, I'll go with it. Oh my goodness. I'm getting gold leaf onto this. Too big. Oh. It's going to be tricky. There it is. And I want a little bit on each of these. Here's one. Let's see if I can do this. There's two. I guess, as with all things, I'll get better at it as I go along. A little bit there. Yeah. I think I'm going to eventually give this painting to my sister. Swap it for another painting that she purchased for me that I don't actually really like that much. Take the old one back and give her the new one. Tricky stuff to work. Yep. And you as well too. It's very difficult to work with, but I do like the effect of it. Wow, it's interesting. If I can put a few more pieces in. And you stuck. Well, I love the feeling that inside this kind of darkness, there's There's amazing potential for something hidden, golden, pieces of it. It's very interesting. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. I'll show you down close. So that's that area starting to take form. That's the area that I feel is where there's a lot of stillness inside myself. And it's like the base of any kind of yoga posture that then grows out of that. And as I said, for this experience that I'm doing here, it feels like from in this kind of stuck idea, something else has expanded, has exploded out of it. I'll just resolve this area here with a bit more paint also. Kind of holding space there for another sense of movement along that edge. Again, it's this sort of sense of shimmering. Even when something's dead still, it still has potential. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to have to lighten it. Let's see if I can get that colour a lot more watery. And might even need to be a bit blue. Paint on this brush. Still even more watery than that. Is it okay? Try it, yeah. I think it needs to even be more watery than that. Let's see. Even more than that. Something like that. Yeah, sort of can work. Let's see. Might still be too dark compared to that blue on the other side. Keep following black. I'm unsure what to do. Aesthetically, I'm thinking to keep it all black. And originally I was feeling that blackness there. Oh. Yeah, I think I do have to. I'm going to have to do it from a watery base and build it up slowly. Let's see. What's the time now? 9 o'clock. Right, to 9:30. Okay, this is a bit unknown, so I'm not sure quite really if I'm doing the right thing. I'll come at it from the side. Typical of me. When I get to a space where I'm not quite sure, I start going around the back. Oh. Let's see if I can pull it forward. This is me being very safe. As I said, I'm approaching it from the side view. I call it my crab behavior. If I've got something done and I'm not quite sure how to complete it, sometimes I'll just disappear around the side of the story and just kind of watch and come in from that angle. Now, what I'm thinking to do is actually to destroy all this. I put it there, and it was kind of a whimsical idea, so I'm going to go at it like this. Water it down. I like that part, but this bit I feel it's too noisy, so I'm going to destroy it. Destroy it means let it disappear. It can be there, but not visible. It's the secret. And what it's carrying is the energy of this line. But I didn't have to I didn't have to talk about it so much. It means I didn't have to make it show. It can disappear. And this line can hold space. Its own space. The rest is additional information, not necessary at the moment. And even that blue, it's like I'm using these guidelines that are embedded inside, and I may work over it. But for now, you can still see it's there, but it's not going to be holding the main space. It's not going to be something that you'll focus on when you look at this painting. It'll be, like I said, a secret. And there's this secret conversation going on underneath the paint. When they x-rayed people like Michelangelo's and Da Vinci's paintings, Rembrandt, they find like, oh, there's so much information under the paint. There's hands doing different things. There's faces that started with a smile and ended with a scowl. There's characters that have been there, appeared, and then disappeared. Because with particularly with oils, you can cover your tracks. You can keep building up layer upon layer upon layer. So often the end product is nothing like the original. Interesting, huh? So art can be a way of exposing what's going on inside and then covering it again. That's what I'm doing here. And pure art, like in Japan, the idea is there is no covering, especially Japanese calligraphy. Whatever you were feeling at the time of writing the poem or the koan or whatever is being put out, that feeling stays trapped forever in the strokes. And there's no going back. Even what I'm doing like this, going back and forward, has a certain energy. Like here, you can see my strokes are kind of, they're not determined. They're, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do it this way. Maybe I'll do it that way. And all of that carries through the art as well. So even if we take the same thought and paint it, we'll all paint it differently, basically. And again, once that's down and you sit back, or I can sit back and look at it, then I can see, that's the emotion or the intention. A bit like handwriting therapists. They can look at your handwriting and go, oh, okay, so you were feeling like X, Y, Z. Or this person has this kind of personality because of the way that they dot their I's or cross their T's or write their S's that looks like an A. And, you can analyze somebody's writing in the same way you can analyze someone's painting. Just by the way, I'm going back over it now. That shows a kind of a sense of purpose, a certain sort of mindset. Now I've got to reconcile this, and then finish up around here. I'm going to keep going with this purpley blue for now. It's actually not my favorite color. So I'm going to have to start to introduce more blue. I wanted more turquoise blue and green in this painting. But because of this stillness here, I've started to get stuck in that purpley color. I want to pull out of that and get back into the turquoises, because they really are the colors that hold my mind more than that. It's interesting to see a lot of that coming through though. Let's see if I can break it away from it. And yet sometimes when I try to force it, it looks really forced and fake. So I just sit with it for a minute. And also I've lost that strong blue line that really did distinguish what was happening with this explosion of this stamen. What I have to do is introduce it through there. And for that, I'm going to keep that one for my, need another brush. This one will work. And for that, I need this color. A bit old, but I'll try. Let's see. Pull you back in again and come down through here. Yeah. Feeling a bit nervous about this. First of all, the brush is too big. I'll try this next one down. Too small? No, I think that'll work. Again, this is quite good for me to be doing. This is what happens to me a lot. I often get caught into the potential of something and I'm afraid to express it. That's what's actually going on in my life right now. There's this tremendous potential and I'm really challenged expressing it. and a lot of fears coming up, a lot of doubt, a lot of considerations that am I worth this to do this work? That if I take on a particular job, that I'll prove to myself that I'm not good enough for it. Oh dear. Which isn't true, of course. We're all good enough for whatever life throws at us. It's just the doubt, the self doubt, a challenge. And doing this work right now is helping me to confront that sense of, yeah, I'm worth it. If I don't have the ability and skill, I can learn the ability and skill. And it can evolve. It doesn't have to be perfect, straight up. And I don't have to be so harsh on myself. And if I don't believe in myself, I can find others who do believe in me until I can love myself into that particular capacity. I'm going to wipe you out and just finish it here like that. Oh, well, that's nice. I really like that. Okay, I think I'm onto the right idea here. So this area here is actually going to need blue. And each of the blue is going to need a moment of gold inside it. So I'll come back to that. I'm going to finish you first. I think that this is the right way to go. It might be overkill doing it 3 times. I'm not sure. But I'm going to work with you through here. Oh, I think I made a mistake. Hey, stop that. I think that this is going to be okay. I just got to get those blues to marry across there and then get that scent. Quite a tricky thing to do. Mm. Mm. Okay, I made a decision here. And this is now becoming all part of this blueness. And that's going to finish somewhere up here. 3 times this? I think so. Again, I need water in it. And yeah, that's going to be difficult. This little area that I'm working on now is a very happy area. Feels like children running together with their hands in the air. It feels like little smiling faces going, yay! It's very sweet. Mm. And I'm holding my breath again. I started wondering what people would say about this painting. And as soon as I did that, I started holding my breath. I projected myself into a space of criticism, which is not at all helpful. Like, oh, somebody would be critical. Okay. I got through that little bit that was difficult. Really, really tight into that black. Okay. Now, that blue is going to hit that blue. Still those reds on that blue. This is the area down here. Start with there. There is no choice. That has to be quite dark. And these parts here also. Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm hoping is to come back over this with detail. And try again the gold leaf. But ultimately, I want to draw onto this with crayon. I'm going to leave that space there for those crayon lines to come back in. They're pink. And they'll sit better on top if there's still a bit of space for them. So, I'm going to leave that room there for a little idiosyncrasy. Needs to be preserved. And there's something happening between that and that. I'll leave it like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. And coming up here. Okay. Here, just it needs to move itself quite roughly. There's that sense there coming down. Well, it doesn't feel right. It feels like it's got to be like that. Small brush again. It feels like it needs to have elements of gold in it. I'm not sure about this one. Actually, maybe what I might do is put green in here. I'll come back to it. Again. Oh. Yeah, that's really light. Whooshy. This has definitely got a sense now of conversation, of something floating over something else. If I could get my gold to work nicely, I'd start putting it in on top of this. Honestly, I don't know how to do that. So what I'm going to do is go in with green. leave that till last a while. I think what I'll do is I'll wait for it all to dry. Yes, I can start to see how this is going to work. With those particular lines, they almost need to be thick. And then, goodness, it's becoming very colourful. Okay, that's how it's starting to look now. I'm not sure if I've really that stillness in here that I needed. Let me just take the light. Oh, certain way the light's falling to that black stillness in the corner. Now I need to work up around that top part, and that's a whole different story. This area up here has got its own energy. Like, that's actually what the whole thing was about. I can see I've been working for an hour and a half on it already. I said I'd take a break at 9:30, so I think I'm going to take a break and come back to this. Takes a while, huh? Yeah, not only does it take a while to paint it, but it also takes a while to like process all that goes on inside the painting. It's a very interesting experience. But so far I'm quite satisfied with it. There's a lot of detail and stuff in here that's interesting, exciting. I love this gold leaf. It's amazing stuff. How it just sticks into the paint. It's beautiful. Very nice. Well, I'm going to leave it at that for now. And I'll come back in with a part 2 on this yoga therapy, yoga art. Bye for now. Thanks for those of you who have joined me. Yes, I want to end it.